All right, it's Monday again, Monday the 16th of October. Being Monday at iTiS World of Worship Fellowship, it means we attempt questions from life, generally speaking, questions about God, about the Bible, about marriage, relationships, sex, philosophical questions, all types of questions. We attempt them. And by attempting, I don't mean we have all the answers. I just mean we respond, and then through our responses, or even asking more questions about your question, you'll probably get a bigger revelation. And of course, it will continue even when you leave here. So that's why I'm insisting on responding, not answering questions. We don't claim to be authorities about all the subjects mentioned. We just give sometimes our opinions, sometimes our qualified views, depending on what question it is. So today, again, we're here. I invite a friend or two. If you have the link, you can share the link. But also, like I mentioned earlier, we record this. So in case you're listening to this recording and you have a question, you can send it to the person who shared the recording with you. I also share these recordings on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and search for iTiS World of Worship Fellowship, I share these recordings there as well. Yeah, so today we have a visitor, Beatrice. Nice to have you again. So being your first time here, I'll give you a chance to ask a question. These old timers will ask later. So please shoot.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Chair. Yeah, my name is Beatrice Kalenzi, and I'm so privileged to be part of you. So since I've been given the chance to ask, I think I have about 2 questions. These are concepts that the world has contained, and they claim they are biblical. However, I don't know if it's true or not. One of them is God helps those who help themselves.
Okay.
I don't know if we have any scriptural evidence for that text, or it is just a concept or a belief. And then the other would be people claim I don't know, okay, it's in the Bible, but to me, I think these are just statements that were made by what's his name? By Job, where he says God is the giver and he's the taker at the same time. So my question is, were these words of God, or were they only statements made by Job? Yeah, so basically that is it.
Okay, thank you. Those are beautiful questions. Hopefully the able panelists here will give you a response, so you can switch off your mic now. Of course, you can chip in at any point if you have any clarification you need as we attempt your question. So the first one is about that very popular statement, God helps those who help themselves. Is it biblical? By biblical, I hope you mean, is it written anywhere in the Bible? Because as we have said on this forum before, not everything in the Bible is biblical. Such a loaded statement, and if you stay long enough with us, you'll understand what that means. And then the second question is about, I think Job who said, God has given and now he has taken away. Again, a statement quoted many times when we are bearing, or many times when we face loss. People always quote that verse. I just need to find where it is. At least that one I know it's somewhere in the Bible. God gives and now he has taken away. So your question is, was that God's voice speaking, or it was just Job's opinion? Yeah, so those are very good questions to start us off. Who would like to go first? Let me start with your lecturers, actually, and then I'll cross over to the other. Let me start with Peter. Peter, would you like to attempt?
I would very much like to attempt, but now that my sister here, Beatrice, who dabbles also as my student, has asked, I would like her to hear a different voice.
A different voice. Does that also mean she has heard Nicholas's voice, or?
Yeah, definitely. Though I'm very sure she has heard more from me as far as matters of Bible interpretations are concerned. So I invited her over to this place where questions are handled and tickled, you know, Father. Yeah, so I would
Okay,
like to give
okay.
a chance to another person, please.
Okay, questions are handled without fear. Okay, I guess that leaves Isaiah, Mr. Isaiah. The other panelist dropped off, who was Pedson, and then I think I see Christine trying to join. So, Isaiah, please.
Yeah, hello.
We can hear you.
Yeah, sure. I was following from a distance. I am not sure I got the question, but one.
Okay. For your benefit, I'll just quickly repeat. Beatrice, it's her first time here. She's a student of Peter and Nicholas.
Yes.
And she has two questions. One is about God helps those who help themselves, a statement that is very popular. She's wondering, is that biblical? Is it from the Bible? Is it written anywhere? And then her second question is about, I think, Job, after losing everything, where he said, God gives and now he has taken away. She's just wondering, is that Job speaking as an individual? Is that God speaking? Is that, she basically wants some clarification on that as well. Yeah. And I was telling her in the way of introduction that here we have famously said that not everything written in the Bible is biblical.
Yes.
Now, that is such a loaded statement. I hope if she stays long enough with us, she will understand what it exactly means. But for now, please, you start somewhere and help her.
Okay. First of all, the other statement is not biblical, that God helps those who help themselves. Well, in some instances, it could be applied and implied by different and particular teachers and believers of the Bible. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that is a biblical or even a Christian statement. So it is not God who helps those who help themselves. It is opportunity that favors those who help themselves. So it doesn't work like that in Christianity. It just doesn't work like that. So the God helps those who help themselves is not a Christian statement. It's basically not a Christian statement to say that God helps those who help themselves. I think it is a social statement, really. It is a cultural statement. It is in this world, for you to survive, you have to do the right things, and then once you do the right things, nature and the principles of life will work towards what you've put in place. So it is very important to do what you have to do, and towards the expected results. And I think that is not God helps those who help themselves. For instance, I am taking the longer route, Mr. Moderator, if you don't mind. For instance, a farmer goes out and sows, okay, puts the seed into the ground, and then those seeds grow, turn into plants, and then later on materialize into food. Then you can say that because you helped yourself and went to farming, then God has also helped you to grow those plants, etc. But that has God help me say this. That has nothing to do with you and God participating in the same realm. God has already provided the land, the seed, etc. So there is nothing actually you are doing to help yourself. For instance, because even the oxygen that you use, the hands that you use, the energy, and it is everything about you is God. So there is no self-help here in the first place, because everything that you're going to use is God's. So there's nothing like there are people who help themselves. For us believers, do believe that everything that we use is of God. The God who created us has enabled us. So we just can't help ourselves, even from the natural perspective, because the hands that you're going to use, the energy, you don't wake yourself up. We still attribute that to God. You don't make those gases run into your body organs for you to operate. We still attribute that to God. So really, there's nothing like self here helping itself. It is still God. It is still God. That is why in culmination we say that we are saved by grace through faith alone and not by our works. So we can't even help ourselves in salvation. So you can't say that no one will get to heaven and say, wow, I'm here, congratulations to myself, I believed unlike others. No, it is by the grace of God that you even believe, because there are many intelligent people in this world who cannot believe that there is God, who can't believe that they are saved by grace through faith alone. So it is by the grace of God. It is really by the grace of God. Of course, there are human choices involved, unless if you say that choice that you make, then you have helped yourself. But even that intelligence, that you surviving other obstacles that have obstructed others from believing and making that choice that you've made, still it is there are powers in place that are working towards helping you do that. So to me, God helps those who help themselves. I don't know of those who help themselves. I really don't know of those who help themselves. So I don't think God participates in or shares the glory of results by some human beings. So it is not a Christian statement, basically. It is not. It's not a Christian statement, and neither is it a biblical statement that God helps those who help themselves. It is either God is helping you or you are actually helpless, even yourself. It is either God is helping you or you are helpless. But I am also the same teacher who always tells people that you cannot fail to study, attend lectures, get involved. I'm using an example of an institution, and you cannot fail on those areas. You're not attending lectures, you're not doing your coursework, you are not doing all the assignments that you're supposed to do, you're not participating into the academic activities, and then wait until the examination and enter into the examination room and then pray that God will do miracles. God will do miracles. So there's human responsibility, but I do not consider human responsibility as helping yourself, so that God can, based on that help, to help you again. So that is just human responsibility. It's just human responsibility. You are doing what you're supposed to do. You are not helping yourself. And it is not actually even proper to give help to yourself. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. To me, that's what I would say for now, unless there are other follow-up questions that we can work with and follow up. I hope I didn't stay alone here.
No. And the second question about God gives and now he has taken away.
Maybe there could be feedback on this and then we'll go on another. I don't know.
Okay, Beatrice, do you have
Yes.
is that response sufficient, or you still have?
No, it's just enough. It just made sense to me.
Okay, perfect. So we'll proceed to the next question.
Well, the God has given
Hello? Me, I have a question. Why does God do certain things and he doesn't do other things? And why do we think that God does certain things and he doesn't do other things?
Okay, that's a different question.
It is actually in the context of Beatrice's question. I think I would like to start with that and then I go ahead to the other question. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Nicholas has switched on his microphone. Nicholas, did you want to say something?
Yes. I wanted to respond to my brother, Mr. Simwe. that just as a parent does some things for the child and does not do other things, does not mean that he is either unable or does not love that parent. But probably the parent may think that this is better for this child at this point. And you never discuss with your child. You don't have time to discuss certain things. So, and our God is our Father. Is not just there to dump things to whoever asks. I think God wants responsible children. That's why he gave us wisdom. That's why he gave us free will. So there are things you'll ask from God, but you should work to attain them. Just like your child will ask you for certain things, and really, you don't see a reason why you should at that point in time. So, Mr. Simu, that's what I think. It's my opinion.
Okay, Isaac.
Yes.
The thing about is that gray area. Whereas some people have prayed and have gotten miracle marks, other people are discouraged to do that and they're encouraged to read. Now, for us on the extreme who say that actually God does not do anything, we stand to be wrong. By the way, let me give you like a very, very, very weird example. My wife studied BCom at the university, but she never applied for it. She applied for BBA, but then she was given BCom. And for us, she's convinced in her heart that God is the one who put her on the list of BCom. So you find someone who didn't apply for BBA, because there's a time when I was even arguing with her. When we went to their home, she brought her copies of the job forms. BCom was not there, but then she did BCom at the university. So if a scenario like that can happen, then why wouldn't someone pray and get marks?
First of all, there's nothing like miracle marks in this world. There's nothing like that. You know, God is not unfair to give one person marks and does not give another. That's just perception. People riding on human error. In our system here, Peter and I have had to delete marks that have gone to other children's portal. Somebody's doing history, but there was a mark uploaded for literature and English, and is 80 is an A. But this child comes, we should delete it because it's afraid it might interfere with high employment. But if it was not so, they would gladly retain it. If systems fail, it is very possible to apply for a course and then you're given another. That's human error. It's not miracle. I also once listened to some girl testify. Did she testify, or the prophet promised her that God had written her name in the graduation book? And she had not done, she had a retake. That God is not the God we talk about here. The God who cheats for his children? No. So, Mr. Sima, it's not a miracle. Human error. My opinion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. I don't know whether Peterson had a follow-up comment or question on that, but I cannot even add anything on the idea of miracle marks, miracle money, miracle everything, unless if we say that God does not follow systems. Okay, maybe he follows his systems and doesn't follow human systems. So maybe we could argue from that angle and say, you see, these are your systems. God doesn't follow those systems. He violates those. A miracle is a violation of existing systems. That would be very, 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 very understandable. But does God also violate his own system of human responsibility? Does he? So that I am told what to do and I don't do it, and then God will just come and violate that principle that he has put in place, because it is him who said that you go into the world and work. So I have not worked, but I want money, and yet money is worked for. So I want to get money minus work. So God comes also and violates that principle of working, and then he gifts me with miracle money. Really, I don't think that is fair. Then in the other angle, Mr. Moderator, to also look at the question of Peterson, why does God do some things and he doesn't do other things? I do not agree. I do not agree that there are things that God doesn't do, really. Because that question sounds like, why doesn't God make chairs? Is anyone following my line of argument?
I am following. We are following him.
Yes, because it is like asking, why does God make trees and he doesn't make chairs? Why does God do some things and doesn't do other things? The reason as to why God doesn't do other things, it is because he has put in place materials to do that, to do those other things that he doesn't do. I always tell people that when God wanted to create a chair and put a chair into place, he created two major things, a human being and a tree. By putting into place a tree and a human being, he had put in place chairs, cars, computers, etc. So you cannot say that there is no participation of God in a chair. This is what I keep arguing with these scientists, because I keep telling them it is God in that science. And then they say, no, this is typical science. There is no God here. And then you ask them, but science is the study of existing materials. They say, yes, absolutely. Then you ask them, what was the origin of these existing materials? Excuse me. What is the origin of these existing materials? Who put them in place? Because, for instance, mathematics was never invented. Mathematics was discovered. And see what we have done with that discovery of mathematics. See how we have developed and changed this world using mathematics alone. But who put that mathematics in place? An intelligent designer. So God is involved in each and everything, but not at the level where we want him to be involved. Because it seems like some believers want God to walk in their stead. Even with their legs, they have legs, but they want God to walk in them. And then say, I am not walking, it is now God walking. No, God is involved. He participates in everything. So there's nothing like God does some things and he doesn't do other things. There's a lot of confusion here. There's too much confusion. But I think God is involved. And even the things that we assume that he hasn't done a thing, look at the process. Look at the process of each and every product. Then you will see the involvement of God at a certain stage. And you will see also the involvement of man at a certain stage as well. At a certain stage. So to me, that is what I would like to say. I mean, adding on what Nicholas has put in place. That's what I would say. Then on the question of the other question of Beatrice, the moderator dropped off, but our new moderator is Peter. I guess the other question was something in Job that says that it is God who gives and God who takes.
Yes, I think that is Job chapter 2. Mm.
Yes, and she wanted to know, is that true, or is that a biblical statement? Or I really want to understand what she wanted to know about that particular statement.
Yes, Beatrice, do you mind asking again, please?
About
to clarify
Job.
your question about Job.
Like Yeah, my issue was like, is it okay? It's in the Bible, and now the few minutes I've been on this platform, someone just said, notes that whatever that is in the Bible is biblical or is Christian, and my issue was, are these statements made by Job? Like, are they statements made by Job, or they're actually words of God? Are they God's words or statements made by Job? Yeah, so that is it.
Okay, so yes, Peterson, God is involved in Gaza. He is very much involved in Gaza. Okay, now Beatrice, I was responding to a text of Peterson. We have a very stubborn Peterson here, don't worry. Beatrice, two, three things. One, I will ask either the moderator Jethro or Peter to forward to you a certain recording where we discussed the concept of biblical, because you had someone say that not everything in the Bible is biblical. You need to listen to that recording and understand the context of that statement, what we mean when we say that not everything in the Bible is biblical. What we mean by that. Moderator, can we access that recording? So have we done a recording on that? Yeah, and then
we'll try and get it. We've said it so many times, but
and then maybe
I'll try and get it up.
But Beatrice, what we mean by that is that there are many things in the Bible, but not all those things in the Bible are a teaching that we can deduce for a Christian. So a teaching is what we mean by biblical. But the Bible has a lot of content. So that is the first thing. Then the other thing that I would like to mention is that what you read in Job is statements of a particular religion in the Bible. I normally call it a cult here, but a particular religion in the Bible that you have to be careful with when you're reading the Bible. And that religion is Judaism. In Judaism, for instance, this is what they believed. I am trying to open my Bible here, and then I see whether you've read this verse before. It is in Isaiah chapter 47. I'm looking for that verse. 47.
And which says, I form the light and I form darkness.
That is which verse?
No, let me just find it. I just remembered it. It is in Isaiah somewhere.
Yes, so it is in Isaiah that says that, because I want to build something for Beatrice. And then I'm looking for it here, I'm sorry. Okay.
Isaiah 45:7.
Okay, yeah.
Isaiah 45:7.
Isaiah 45:7. It says 45:7. It says, I form, Beatrice, there's that verse in Isaiah 45:7 that says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all those things. So Beatrice, this is what the Judaism believes. Judaism is like Islam. One is Isaac. Isaac is Judaism. I am not saying Chitafe Mukatonda Isaac Mukwana, but the original Isaac. Isaac is Judaism. Then the other is Ishmael. Ishmael is Arabic. So both Judaism and Arabic or Islam, they believe that God is the source of evil and good. Judaism does not have anything like Satan, though in the Hebrew Bible there's a concept of Hashatan, which came later after the exile and which was not believed by the Judaism creed and doctrine. And even though the Muslims have what they call the Iblis, Shaitan, they still believe that even Iblis is under is under Allah. Iblis is under Allah, and in Hebrew, Hashatan is also under Yahweh. That is why you see in the book of Job, where you have got that verse, it is said that when the children of God gathered, even those of Satan also came. In fact, Satan goes into a discussion with God, because that is the Jewish understanding. They don't believe that Satan and God are two different entities. No, one works for the other. God is supreme, is all powerful, therefore the devil is under him. So that's why the devil even comes and asks for permission to go and attack Job, because he cannot attack Job unless God wishes. So whenever the devil attacks you, according to Judaism, God has wished that the devil attacks you. So that is the entire theology as built in Job chapter 1. Okay, that Satan has to go to God, ask for permission to come and haunt and taunt Job and cause all those problems to him. So Judaism believed that good and bad comes from Yahweh, comes from God, comes from God. That's what Judaism believes. Islam believes that good and bad also come from Yahweh. That's why you hear them say Allah wageze, and that's not really Islam and Judaism, but even the African traditions also, they also believe the same. When you get problems, it is because the gods are not happy. So you have to appease those gods, and then you'll be well. You'll be well. That's what they believed. However, Christianity, on the other hand, does not believe so. Christianity believes that excuse me. Christianity believes that God is all good and only good. And only good can come from God. And then it believes that everything that is bad comes from sin, aka what we are personalized as Satan. So Christianity believes in the unexclusive source of evil and unexclusive source of good. That is why it builds on the mythology in Genesis chapter 2. You shall not eat on the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You shall not, because good and evil are separate entities. They cannot come from the same source. We cannot have a God who oozes evil, and the same God also oozes good. That's not the Christian God. The Christian God is the God of goodness alone. Even when he wants to save humanity from evil, he comes and pays the penalty of death. So from God comes only good. That's what Christianity teaches. And from Satan comes only bad and evil. Even when it is masked and dressed in beauty, it is evil. Whatever comes from Satan, it is evil, exclusively evil. Whatever comes from good, God is good. Even when it is dressed in bad-looking versions of style, it is still good. It is still good. So moderator, I don't know whether I have addressed the question.
Well, I just need to ask whether Beatrice is happy with the response so far.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah, so yeah, I think your question is really an understanding of it. It's such a wide question, but it really speaks to how God is understood by, first of all, the people who wrote the Bible and as Christians today. You know, there's a difference between Judaism and Christianity. I hope you know that. Okay, so Judaism gave birth to Christianity. And so, I mean, some people are stuck in the Judaism understanding of God, but Christianity defines him otherwise. So I think your question falls in that sort of understanding. So if Beatrice is happy, I'd like to go to the next question. This one came from Billy. It was on one of our WhatsApp groups. And Billy wants to know, I think everybody here is a parent. I don't know about, okay, apart from Beatrice and Kato probably. But still at one time you'll be a parent. So Billy is asking, people with children here, like I said, it was in our subgroup. If your child begins to identify as homosexual or lesbian, how would you help or support them? Okay. If your child begins to identify as a homo or a lesbian, how would you support them? Or how would you handle it? That's the question to the parents here. So let me cross over to Tata Edineta. First, I like to pick on him. But everybody's going to have their say, obviously, including you, Beatrice, at some point. Peter, would you like to respond? How can you help a child who identifies as, or who wants to identify as LGBTQIA++, and the entire alphabet?
No, the question was, if I had a child and that child identified themselves,
Yes.
yeah, and identified themselves as LGBTQIA+, and so on. Honestly, I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. I'm bereft for words. I don't know. Honestly, I do not know what I would do.
You don't know what you do.
But probably because a certain philosopher said that that logic takes you from A to Z, but imagination can take you everywhere. Let me go into the journey of imagination. First and foremost, I will react. I would react. I would react like hell. That is number one. Number two, I would declare myself as independent of him or her.
Is that the same as disowning him?
Because one of the things that we have learned in Christianity here is that human beings do not possess human beings. We do not possess these human beings whom we call our children. They are human beings created in the image of God. They're independent of us, and we are only stewards of them. Now, as a steward of this human being, if she or he is still under my charge, I would do all that it takes to communicate to them that what they're doing is not normal, or it is not in accordance to creation. It is out of design, and therefore I cannot trumpet its normalcy. I would not tell them, I would not create such a talk to show them that what they are in is normalcy. I would use all the teacher in me. I would use all the professor in me to demonstrate and to illustrate to this child or to this human being, especially if this child is at an age that he or she and I could dialogue. This is what I would do. But honestly, if this child is not at that age where we can dialogue, I have no business even to explain. I'll either beat the hell out of them, or I would detach myself completely from them. But if they're in that age, that listening age, that age that can exchange ideas, I would first use all the teacher in me and the parent in me to teach, because the popular talk about LGBTIQA is that it is an alternative to heterosexuality. That is the looming discourse. That is the looming talk. Okay, especially from our brothers and sisters from the West. They have created an idea that LGBTQIA+ is just an alternative. In other words, is a different In other words, LGBTIQA, blah, 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 is a form of heterosexuality. And now, last Sunday, the other Sunday, we were talking of heterodidascalian when we were teaching, and we learned that heterodidascalian, hetero means different. It means another teaching. So the popular talk surrounding LGBTIQA++ and so on, is that LGBTQIA is another. It is a different. It is an alternative. In fact, it is an alternative too. So I would first disabuse this person, this child, in all the strongest terms possible. I would disabuse. I would use all the logic there is, all the emotions there are, and all the physical the physical activity that there is, that I have at my disposal, to disabuse him, to disabuse her of any idea that homosexuality or LGBTIQI is an alternative. Why? Because I believe that this child has even got the guts, or the audacity to stand before me, face me, and speak bluntly and declare how LGBTQIA they are. If a child is bold to that level, then the problem is not only the heart, though the heart is sick, but also the head. So that's what I would honestly do, depending on which age this child has disclosed they are LGBTIQA. There is an age I would not negotiate. I wouldn't even go to debate over that. That's what I think, in my honest opinion. I submit.
Okay.
Moderator.
The moderator is sleeping on duty. I guess it's Kato, do you have a view on that? Yes, Kato. Hello, Kato. Petson, do you have a view?
I've been talking to myself. Sorry, sorry, I was muted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
we understood. I had invited Kato. Petson.
Hey, my
No,
view.
let Kato go first. Let Kato go first. If you had a child who wants to identify as LGBTQ++, what would you do? How would you support them? How would you rebuke them, and so on and so on?
It will depend on the hello.
Yes.
Yeah, it will depend on the age bracket that they are in.
Come closer
And
to your
also-
mic. Your voice is not so clear.
Am I clear now?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Yeah, so I was saying it will depend on the age bracket they are in. Like, for instance, if they are my children, perhaps I should be aware of that, since like childhood, I don't think a child just identifies like that when they get when they are in adulthood. Some children are just born with, with mixed properties of male and female. So she might be having characteristics of maybe of a female child, when in actual sense they are male. So when they are young, I would encourage them to go with the gender or that is more dominant, rather than just wanting to identify as whatever they want. Yeah, that's what I would do. And if they are old enough and I say, you know what, I want to be a gay, that is really heartbreaking. It is not something that I myself I can't see coming, but it is a tough thing. But I believe everyone has their own. Once they have reached like the age of consent and they are independent, it's okay. They can go and practice those awkward things, but sure, I just see it like cancer. You know, you
Awkward
can.
things.
Sorry.
No, please go on. I was just laughing
Yeah,
at the
I,
statement.
I I just see it like cancer. You can bear a child and it gets born with such unbearable traits. So you just leave it rather than killing it. We just live. Yeah, but I would encourage it to live by consent, to practice those things by consent, not actually raping innocent children or innocent people, posing a threat to the community that they live in. Yeah, perhaps that's what I can say about that. But still, talking about being straight and not being straight is such a controversial topic. And yeah, I understand once you are a straight man, some people's opinions might sound as garbage as far as in this topic is concerned. But yeah, that's what I can say. I myself, I can tolerate them, but it's not something I can second. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Kato. Petson, you are saying something before Kato?
Me, I'll just do one simple thing. Just enlighten them about the Constitution. Most especially us who are permanent in Uganda. That's all. I just tell the boy or the girl that, by the way, whatever you decide to do, these are the consequences, period. And that's why I stop. So choose for yourself. And of course, in case anything happens, and the kid is taken to Luzira, if it's not a death penalty by then, you still have to continue going to visit your child. Me, that's what I'll do. I'll just enlighten them about the law. But I cannot stress my heart, Simanya, I want to shape this kid, Simanya, I want to do that. That one I cannot do. I just make sure that understand the law, do what you're going to do with your mind fully aware.
Okay,
And
thanks,
we'll be
Pete.
taking food to Luzira.
Thank you, Pete. Beatrice, your hand is up. Please.
Okay.
Would you also take food to Luzira for your child?
No,
According to the
no.
Ugandan laws, of course.
Yeah, according to the Ugandan laws, of course they would. But I think the most important thing about this question is the fact that it is attached to a child. And I think if my child just came to me and they told me they were homosexual and all that, I feel like first of all I'll be glad that he or she is able to walk to me and tell me that, because I feel like it's an added advantage, meaning they're able to confide in me. So as myself, I know it is a bad thing to me. To me, homosexuality is bad. So there's no way I'm going to handle this case like Kato, because to him, he feels it is okay. But for my case, no, it's not okay. So I will there and then tell this child what I think homosexuality is, because first of all, they are children. I'm not even certain if they really know what it is. I'm not even certain if they really know the effects and all that. And being Christian, I feel it is good, or it is a duty for us parents to bring up the children in the Christian way. And since they are children, we are actually able to indoctrinate them in whatever that we choose to. So I think with my child, I would tell them no. I would really tell them. I think I'll do more of Peter's. It's just that according to Peter would be more of rough, and I think I would be friendly and make sure in a good way or in a humble way get to help the child realize that it's not a good decision to take. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is it.
Peter, thank you, Beatrice. Peter is an angry parent. He wants to kill the child, but he can't. He wants to box them, but he can't. So he's just stuck with their problem. Nicholas. Stephen Mukatonda, as we call you on this forum. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Would you like to attempt the question from Billy?
First of all, by the time your child tells you that, it means you have already failed as a parent.
Hey.
Yeah, you would have failed from the start. So there's nothing much you can do.
Why do you say you have failed? A child opening up to you means there's a communication channel between you and your child.
No,
is that a bad thing?
It means that you do not pay attention to your child when he's growing. Yeah, so it's not accidental. In fact, by the time the child is telling you, is just trying to show you that, hey, I am a man or I'm a woman. So back off. But one time somebody shared a picture when a father was hugging his gay son and said that, I love you so much, my son, even when you think you are a woman. It was shared on Uganda Church Leaders Forum. And this is the comment I said. I commented and said that this man has achieved the kind of love that Jesus demonstrates for us. And immediately, Pastor Kiganda was the first. Nicholas Tubulire, oli wabisiyaga oba nedda? Because I thought I was saying something that is deep theology for a person of Bishop Kiganda to understand easily, but he didn't. You cannot crucify your son because is whatever he is. A child will remain a child. Even if he steals from the neighbors and they are coming to kill him and enters the house, you can even lie and say, no, I've not seen him. Because a child will be a child. So for me, that is very hurting. And probably to add even to the menu of the discussion, I once told my students that if my daughter got pregnant at the age of 12, of course, that's not what I want. It will be painful, but she remains my daughter. Take care of her. If the man who is responsible wants to lend a hand, fine. If does not want, I'll take care of the grandson and take her back to school if she wants to. In my village, I've seen bishops and reverends and pastors denouncing their children because they are brought what they call a shame to their family name. I wonder whether there is bigger shame than that was on Jesus Christ on the cross. You know, when you're relating with human beings, we need to give them love and forgiveness. And that starts from your home. I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Stephen Mukatonda. Let me cross over to Tom. Tom, did you get the question? It's from Billy and is wondering if, as a parent, your daughter or son walked up to you and they told you they fall along that spectrum of LGBTQIA+++. What would you do? How would you handle it?
It is not an easy question to answer, but it will depend on my mood, my state of mind, how sober I am. Because the first question to ask is, this child is not mine. She is a human being who belongs to God. And being gay, but I think God loves the people who are gay, much as gayism affects his people, and that may cause God grief. So if I were sober, I would try as much as possible to point this child to Christ. And once I achieve that, once I point them to Christ and they go that direction, I think I will be absolved from any responsibility at all. But as an African parent, I would of course grieve a lot. And if I had the powers too, I would maybe say, you are no longer my child. Either you're no longer my daughter, you're no longer my son. What I want to do is I will not beat myself up because of a child. Because deep inside me, I know that I am only a steward of this person, but this person belongs to God. Now it is God to know what they want to do with them. I will of course not say you are a bad person, you are so sinful. No, I wouldn't do that. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you. I see all parents here defeated. They are trying to sound kind, but deep down they are struggling with the issue. It is okay. Let me cross over to another parent.
It's not easy.
It's okay, Tom. I'm just trying to disturb you. Bob, can you talk?
Yeah, nenge nakwogera mu Luganda kuba abandi
audience here, it's okay.
Kakati era ekibuuzo nkifunye bulungi. Omwana okujja n'akugamba nti ye ali the other side, right?
Inside eyo endala eyo.
Okay. Kakati ekisooka, God forbid.
Bob, you've forgotten that AI has a translator. You be careful.
Yeah, kakati
wama AI tamanyi Luganda.
Kakati kyengenda okugambako ekisooka nti ng'omuzadde responsibility esooka kwe kwogera n'omwana. Jakuddayo ku Tom kyayogedde. Omwana wa agamba nti omwana we12 n'emyaka bw'afuna olubuto osatu. Ekisooka okugira si kunakuwa. Ekisooka ekyandibadde omwana ono wayogerakoko naye ku processing nga bw'ebeera kyalina okukola nti kyatalina kuteetinga involved oba wali awo ng'oli ku bibyo ya ssente omwana osasula busasuzi fees naye nga tomubuulira geno side y'obulamu eri etya. So mu question eno gye muleese ku floor, kyandibadde kisooka kyandibadde kuba nti ng'abazadde twogera n'abaana ebintu bino. Okay? Abaana bo bagamba nti siyagadi era ekyandibadde zaabyo biriwo ziti era Katonda bino byandibadde bwetiyo omuntu era obulamu kugamba omwana n'omunnyonnyola nti kirabo gye biri bw'agenda ku ssomero abaana bane bayinza omuki omwana amanye nti kugamba esayidi gyeri wabula aleme kubeera surprised abantu kumuvuga kataka ne bamulowoozesa nti nayo it is another normal way. Okay? Ekyo mbadde njagala okutandikirako nti nga tonnaba tonnaba sooka weerowoozeemu paati yange izanya ng'omuzadde saabirekera ssomero nti lisomero lirina abasomesa yensi n'abasomesa kati ng'omuzadde ensonyi zirina okungwawo omwana kankozesa ekigambo kutabbira omwana omutabbire ku issues zino kati bw'ajja n'akugamba nti taata nga I think submission bwe yabaddeko we love God love that's why we say that nti omwana asigala mwanawo ne wabanga agenze mu kiku akoze ekintu ekikuwebula ng'omuzadde oba ekiwebula ye ng'omwana omanye ebintu bino tubikola tulowooza nti abazadde baffe be baswala naye omwana omuzadde yajja kukula n'okupaapaabiro naye omwana consequences za actions ze yajja ozifeesinga mu maaso so even when bwe tukusinga ekyamu tetubikola ffe tuliko obuzibu kubanga mu society tetujja kubeera mu bulungi olw'ebikolwa byo salawo okubba bajja kukusinga omwana naye alina action gyakoze egenda kusinga kukola ku bulamu bw'embwa ye consequences zijja n'ekyo alina okubeera ng'azimanyi kati ali mu nsi gye bitakkirizibwa which means bamukwata ajja kusibibwa or something like that so ekyo ndowooza yandibadde focus so omwana tolina kyaba tolina kukola munyigira wabula abeera mwana we aba akoze ekintu ky'otayagala oba ekintu ekigenda okumukola obubi you can only talk to them show them the right way musabire do your part kati ebisigadde your role is to love them ndowooza submission
kale Bob webale nnyo kangende wa Ebbi agenda gamba avuga
ate enkuba yatonye leero
enkuba yatonye ate
era enkuba yatonye nvuga but mulidde submissions zonna naye ideally like omanyi bagamba mama ye abeerawo even up to the last moment you know but there's also a saying that goes you hate the sin and not the sinner so don't look at this as a reflection of your child as someone submitted that we are all human beings and we are independent so don't look at it as what can I call it, like a fallen kind of aspect on your child or a disappointment. Of course, it's very disappointing, extremely disappointing, considering I have a boy myself. But my first reaction would be, of course, definitely you wail, you ask God why. And then after that, sit down with my child and ask him how, where, and when, because some of these things is not even about the way a child feels. Some of it is basically due to exposure. What kind of environments are these children exposed to? Because I've heard stories of how these people are recruited into this game. And many times, it's not even the feeling from many of these people. It's basically what they are exposed to and not even the reward they are given, you know? So you find out the whys and how and, you know, when it all happened. And of course, as a believer, that is when I start throwing heavenly fire on my child. But ideally, treat this person, actually treat your child as a human, consider it a sin, and don't even babysit it. Don't babysit it. Talk about the repercussions, because the repercussions are many and they are permanent. It's not something that you can come out of. The repercussions are usually permanent, especially for the male child. So, yeah, you sit, you talk, and if the child is receptive to heal, well and good. But if he is not, as I said, I'm a believer. Just going to the courts and fight that demon out and make sure it's gone for good. But yeah, actually, I do concur with most of the previous speakers, especially Chitafe Mukatonda. Sometimes we also fail as parents, as in, when does the child actually get to that point? When do they get to that point? Where were you? Are you communicating with this child? Are you talking to them? Do you see the kind of friends they have around them? Even the schools you're taking them to, or the parties you're taking them to, the kind of crowds you expose them to, the kind of, even on the gadgets, what are they doing? I know my own has a gadget, but I literally monitor everything he tries to install on that gadget. And it even has to ask me for permission. So we really, really need to see what these children are being exposed to. Thank you, moderator. That's my submission.
Okay, thank you, AB. Isaiah, over to you.
Kakati nze, does anyone understand Luganda, by the way? Everyone here, does everyone here understand Luganda? In case you don't, please comment.
Not sure about Beatrice, the rest I'm sure they understand.
Njagala genda mu nsi z'abazungu ate bwe nayogera mu luzungu tebajja kunzikiriza kugenda. Naye engeri gye ntino ndi munyi wa Waragi, leka njogere mu luzungu. First of all, my children from age 1 to 15 follow a list of do's and don'ts, and I am the one who determines those from age 1 to 15. So if she woke up or he woke up one morning and said that they are gay and I am gay, that is all right. We are all gay. There is no problem. But if they woke up one morning and said that they are gay and I am heterosexual and I don't believe in gayism, I don't believe in gayism scientifically, I don't believe in gayism spiritually or religiously, then they cannot be gay. As long as they are from age 1 to 15, they just can't be gay. Because as far as I'm concerned, in my home, from age 1 to 15, I determine essential things like identity. Me as the parent, I am the one who tells you who you are. From age 1 to 15. So they are do's and don'ts, and they are not negotiable. I don't care which book my son read, which institution spoke to him. When I meet him and we are together at home, he is not gay. He's not bisexual, he's not queer, he's not trisexual, he's not triple sexual, he's not anything like that.
He's not any sexual.
No, he's not any sexual. He's not. From age 1 to 15, I determine the do's and don'ts. So from age 16 onwards, I have another law in place. He who pays the piper does what?
Calls the tune.
Yes. So if he's still under my charge and I'm still spending on him, okay, he is not what I don't believe in.
This African parent.
Yes, he's not what I don't believe in. He cannot. He just can't. Me, I am like Western countries. If you are Uganda, okay, and you pass a law against homosexuality, we cut off the aid. Are you guys following in Uganda?
I am following.
Yes, I cut off the aid, just like the Western countries did to Uganda when it passed the law against homosexuality. I cannot continue investing in this individual of 16 years onwards, all my resources and time, and yet he doesn't agree with me. We have disagreed. Therefore, let us part ways. I have nothing to do with you. It is your life. You go and live your life, and I live mine. There is no need of fighting. Then I'm praying for you. Then I go into prayer services. I fast and pray. Why? From age 16, you are an adult. You go. Why am I praying for you? You go. You will face your God at the end of the world. You're going to suffer the consequences, and you're going even to get the benefits. You see, it's not only consequences, they're even good things. They enjoy, just like heterosexuals enjoy sex, homosexuals also enjoy their sex. Let people be, just let people be, and stop calling them children, my children, my children. Your children? My children stops at 15. From 15 onwards, from 16 onwards, people must choose to be your children. You don't just move around throwing your DNA and forcing your DNA on people who denounce it. My children, I am praying for my children. And then when he comes with a man with a beard and says, and comes with another man, they are married, and you faint. Why are you fainting? Why haven't you fainted when other people are gay? Why are you fainting? Because this one was raised in your home. So you should seek psychologists, you parents, and they help you with attachment syndromes. You people, we do not own other people. We don't. People are processed and channeled through us, but they are not ours. As long as they are under your charge, age 1 to 15, that is my bracket. I don't know yours. As long as you are from 1 to 15, you are going to do what I say, or else I will go to prison. You will not utter anything that I am how. That you see me, Daddy, divine is speaking to me. Divine is my firstborn. You see, Daddy, me, I feel like a girl. Therefore, I am a girl. I am putting on dress. Divine, he just knows that. Divine knows that. Divine is very clear on that. I told you a story when he was caught with other 4 boys. And then later it was found out that it was not part of the crime. And then he told the teacher, "Chiwandiikire ddala mu bbaluwa nti sikibaddeemu kubanze taata wange mumanyi ajja kunzita wadde okubeera obubeezi okumpi nakyo." Muntu mutugaddeyo ewa Mukama ogambe Mukama nti annemye okuwanika. The age 1 to 15. So ladies and gentlemen, you stop these things. My children, my children. I have told you the Western world has nothing to teach Africa on 2 essentials. 1, parenting. 2, marriage. Abazungu tebalina kye batusomesa ku parentinga, tebalina kye batusomesa ku bufumbo. Tebalina. Africa yeteeko somesa abazungu ku parentinga n'obufumbo. Kubanga ewaabwe byagaana. Kakati ate tebasula na kutusomesa ani mukazi ani musajja. Tekisoboka. Waliwo Abafirika nga ffe bakamwanyi bemutasobola kusomesa bintu ebyo. Temusobola. The white people cannot teach us who is a man and who is a woman. No, they cannot. We are very clear on that. It is them that are not clear. Because when a man feels like a woman, then that man is a woman. You see, there's a difference between gender and sex. You see, sex is biological, gender is social. But again, there are neurochemicals in your brain that actually trace gender to a biological point. Omusajja agambye waliwo neurochemicals ezitriggeringa feelings ezo omuntu n'awulira ng'omukazi n'olwekyo identify as a woman. It is a feeling really. Kati enkya bw'anaawulira ng'ente. Nolwekyo omwana bwaweza emyaka 16 yeesalirewo, bw'amala okwesalira omugambe nti weeraba mwana wange, weeraba. Naye omuzadde aleme kubeeraawo tuli mu kusaba ne mu kusiiba, omwana yange ayitira omuli wa bisiyaga, olwale puresha ekkuba ogwe era ofiira ki? Leka omuli w'ebisiyaga agende, naawe sigala neno mu kikyo. Mwana wange, mwana gwe watonda omuntu gwe, gw'olina omuntu gwali otonze gwe. Ntera nnyo okugamba abantu eno ensi erina eyagifiirira, nze tumwine sigenda kufiirira mwana, sijja. Yesu yagifiirira, byaggwa, nze kati sigenda kufiirira mwana. Mwana wange, ozunze ogenze mu gundi, ogenze mu ddwaliro, omwana yennyini kati talese n'okwekweka, ogenze mu basumba, tusabe tusiibe, omwana yaŋŋambye ki, ofa ki n'ensi? Leka omuguno gugende. So moderator, nze abaana benzaala first of all si baana bange, bantu ba Katonda, mbawanika buwanisi okuva ku mwaka gumu mpaka 15. Katonda kyannuŋŋamizza okukola ekyo kyenkola. Njagala okutegeeza abazadde nti abazadde bangi bakoze buli kintu kyonna ekituufu, abaana ne bagaana. Experience yange mu parenting, okola buli kintu ekituufu, omwana n'agaana. Nicholas wuuyo mubuulizi wa njiri era mukulembeze wa ddiini akubuulira abaana b'abakulembeze ba ddiini bwe bali. Baana kikaaki, abaana b'abasumba, abaana ba reverend, baana kikaaki. Omuntu okola buli kimu kyonna ky'osobodde, omwana n'agaana. Nze kati sikyaddawo ne ŋŋamba nti omuzadde takoze kitundu kye. Sigamba nti omuzadde tateekwa kukola kitundu kye, kikole, naye tegeera nti ensi eno mwe tuli okola ebituufu byonna ne bivaamu bulala. Nsigaleko ogwo omusalaba. No, sijja
Nsomba. Hello.
Bob, yogera.
Badde njagala kumubuuza Musumba nti omuntu bw'abeera omusumba kitegeeza nti parenti mulungi, kubanga kireeta kino nti tulaba abasumba who are more attentive to their church flock, their family. So oyinza okwesanga nga yadde oli musumba naye ng'ate takudde kukola kitundu kye ng'omuzadde. So bw'akoze statement nti abaana b'abasumba balabika gyanda n'okukola bwetyo. Badde njagala okuleetawo nti not necessarily nti omusumba ate abeera parent. Simanyi ayinza okukomentinga ku ekyo.
Yandi kakati ekibuzo ky'obuuza kirungi Bob. Kati omusumba bw'ataba parent mulungi, makanika ye parent omulungi. Kubanga gwe kiri gwogenze ku mulimu,
asobola okubeera.
N'omusumba naye asobola okubeera. Naye ani alirayikira okubeera omuparenti omulungi? Kubanga obusumba wano waliwo akabonero, juzi nali nkaana ne mukyala wange nga ŋŋamba nti omuntu bw'abeera nga musumba tateekwa kubaako na nsobi gy'akola. In fact bw'abaako n'ensobi gy'akola, ensobi ye ebeera nnene nnyo okusinga ey'abagoberezi. Mukyala wange bw'atyo bwe yali aŋŋamba, nga nze mugamba nedda omusumba alinga mmwe nammwe naye alemwa. Ngaga tateekwa ate kulemwa, ate kakati anaasumba atya nga naye alemwa nga ffe. Kati mweyo context mwekyogeredde Bob, kubanga abasumba tusuubira nti bali exemplary. Era obalaba engeri gye batambula ba Nicholas mu maganduula, bakitaffe mu Katonda. Wandisuubidde nti ddala omwana wa Nicholas yali ye gundi ye alien skin.
Abalaba abaana ba Eri.
Kati weebale nnyo. Kati lwaki bali ne mu Bayibuli? Bali ne mu Bayibuli lwa nsonga nti obukulembeze kabonero kalungi. Golooza lwaki omukulembeze wa Uganda mukambwe ennyo ku baana? Lwaki mukambwe? Kubanga
Komaawo.
Weebale nnyo komaawo. Komaawo. Naye ku bukambwe
kubanga Patiboni.
Weebale nnyo kati kye ndi mu kwogera. Musajja mukambwe ennyo ku baana nga bw'okiwulira, naye first born wuuyi musiiba mu muvuma, ate ne bimuvuma bituufu. Anyway, point yange zijembadde njagala okukola gye njagala mulowoozeeko. Omuzadde asobola okukola byonna. Nze ndi wano nkiikiridde bazadde bannange. Lekeraawo okwevuma. Si oli omuntu yakyogedde mu temwekuba nnyo. Do not beat yourself too much. Omuzadde asobola okukola ebintu byonna ebituufu. Omwana n'agaana.
Nsonga.
Wangisewo.
Osanga abaana b'omubulizi w'enjiri nga babasomesa buli kimu. Basaba, basoma Bayibuli, waka bakola batya. Naye nga ne mu kyaki omwana baforcinga mu forcing.
Okugendayo. Nga babalaze okwagala.
Eyo ekibi. Tekisosola. Tekigamba nti ono omwana wa Bishop katumuyitize.
Kakati ate ekirala Nicholas kyenjagala abantu bano bamanye n'abalala batuwuliriza. Abantu bategere ani gwe tulwana naye. Omwana najja nga ayambadde sikaati n'agamba nze daddy ndi mulenzi. Noga nti olimu okyalwana na mwana. Tulwana na mwana naawe vaawo. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood.
Ekyo kiba kitekinze over.
Kakati nedda omanyi tewali kane wano waliwo evidence okusinziira ku science hormones zino ziraga ng'omwana alina nnyo hormones eza gundi ate ono yazaalibwa ne gundi bbiri. Kakati omuntu okuzaalibwa nga mulema tukiyise buyisa nti mutuufu.
Nedda.
Nedda. We cannot continue justifying people with disability and normalizing them. Kati POWs tuzijjewo them. Bwe tugamba nti nono yazaalibwa bw'ati. Ate lwaki tumuyita nti nono ali disabled. Ng'ate yazaalibwa bw'ati. Kyemuga nti waliwo abaana bazaalibwa nga balema ng'omukono guli eno mu mugongo.
Bali.
Kati yali disabled. Tumanyi kakati nze nazaalibwa n'ebitundu by'ekyama bibiri eky'omusajja n'eky'omukazi. N'olwekyo nze kakati ndi bisexual. Oli mulema. Netwakayo mbibooge.
Netwakayo eri disabled naye eringa bano betwogerako.
Kakati omuntu bw'abeera nga the greatest crime of our generation is justifying every disability. Netuginormalizing. Bwe kiba ng'omuntu kiva mu bwongo waliwo kemiko mu mwongo ekkirira n'ekufuula ng'owulira ng'olinga omusajja. Kemiko bw'eneeva mu bwongo ng'ekuwulisa ng'omubbi. Lwaki ababbi kati tubakwata? Kuba abazungu bennyini tebannabatuwa science ku ba serial killers. Bamutuwe. Omuntu wazaalibwa ng'ayagala okutta bannabwe ate ng'abattira mu bulumi ng'asooka n'asalako akagalo kwegamba ng'alimu embeera za pagatori ey'Abakatuliki. N'asalako akagalo n'okaaba n'aleeta ekyokya n'akateeka w'akasaze n'onyibulonga n'anyumirwa n'aseka. Oyo ye kwegamba teyazaalibwa bw'atyo. Oyo ye tumutereeze yeetaaga counseling. Naye omusajja awulira ng'omukazi ye teyeetaaga counseling. Ye tumukkirize. Temulaba muno we are wrestling against the principality. Waliwo science ali clear. Enkya scientist bw'anajja ne research nga waliwo science w'omubbi naye tumuleka bbe. Where are we heading?
In fact waliwo abazaalibwa mbu science bwegamba nga babbi nga babayita bata kleptomaniac ng'ayagala okubba naye babatwala mu rehabilitation ki balina ssente gye babatwalamu babaggyemu endowooza eyo.
Kati lwaki tubatwalayo ng'ate bazaaliddwa bwe batyo?
Naye bano be bayigiriza obuyigiriza bagamba tubakkirize nti balina omu.
Bannange mubeere serious. Nze siwagira kintu kyakutta basiyaga yonna gye bali. Nze ndi ku nsonga emu yokka. Mukkirize nti kikyamu. Tutandikiraawo. Kati bino hate the sin, love the sinner. Eyo njiri ngimanyi bulungi. But homosexuals do not confess sin. It is not sin to be a homosexual. Bo bwe bagamba. Kakati love the sinner, hate the sin, tekola ku bo kubanga bo tebakkiriza nti kibi. Kati byo tebikola. Omwana wo mwagale, omwana wo mwagale ntya. Manyi Katonda kwagala, lwaki atugamba okwenenya n'okumukkiriza. Atutwale butwazi. Katonda ajjudde okwagala teyandifudde ku musalaba. Bassebo ne manyi omukendeza akajanja. Yanditulukudde bulukuzi. Anti atwagala. Andiga ebyana byange byonoonese. Kati mujja buzimbulamu obutagwawo. Kati lwaki afa ku musalaba? Adirige ne problem ya sin. Abagirabye nti eno extreme end y'ekibinfu tugende ku eno end endala ya Katonda abo bakkiriza abo balokose. Abatakkiriza balonze bagenze. Kyenagayo nti omwana wange emyaka 16 alonze agenze. Mwena mukyali wammwe wakitawo ne nnyoko mukyaliyo. Kwegamba maama wo ne taata wo nkambuze mu heterosexual. Maama wo ne taata wo mwaba balina nga balamu. Be basalawo style gye mukola mu buliri. Mutekeko microphone batayina background noise. Mutekeko.
Wanjisebo.
Be basalawo style gye mukola mu buliri kitawo ne nnyoko. Bwe to maama wo gyali mulamu mumanyi. Yakubira akasonti lero mwana we kola bwoti.
Tabyogera nako n'okulosi nti Tom yeepiikya ayinza okuzirika.
Nange.
Genede leka tukijjeyo bulungi kitegereke bakulu. Kubanga kati omwana wo emyaka 18 ofaaki naye. Okusinziira ku gavumenti yamwe ya Uganda egamba 18 nze ngamba 16. Gufaaki naye bw'aba asazeewo sexual orientation nimugireka agende. Weeraba kwata ebyo weeraba.
That is why only women stayed at the cross with Jesus. Kakati nga lwaki toyagala mwana wo gwe wakeera enkya n'ozaala. Era ne Yesu bwe yakola ki bwe yali ku musalaba era maama we yasigalawo.
Kati moderator kakati owulira.
No, Musumba, let me finish this.
Okay.
Yes, you can throw out your child. You can throw out your child. But ideally, by the way, that is why they usually say a mother's affection is way different from a father. Extremely different. There is some form of telepathy we have with these children, way more than you male species will ever have. You get where I'm coming from. And I'm speaking this, by the way, out of experience, because I do have a son. So when you say that Racho Fida Kumwana, by the way, Musumba, I have seen mothers nga bakuba mutabani wano nga abye naye n'agamba bannange omwana wange mutabani wange bannange mumuleke mukube emunze. You can imagine the extent. That is why that saying of hate the sin, not the sin, doesn't only actually apply to the children, but the extreme you're willing to go, the love you're giving to this child to show him or her that, you know what, despite it all, I am going to stand with you. That is why ngami etunozi yakusindika ne bazuka zeggulu. Bazuka zeggulu si ku mwana. Ku kintu ekimulimu oba any spirit that is provoking him to do whatever he's doing. You get where I'm coming from? But my disagreement with you, no, I cannot throw out my child because he has affiliated himself with a sexual orientation socially. Yes, it will be extremely disappointing, and I would even wonder where I went wrong. But disloving my child or even disowning, never. That's my submission, Musumba.
Nyabo neyanze. And by the way, you are very right as a woman. You are very right as a woman. Era bulijjo wano mbyogera obemu nabyogera woli. Nze bulijjo wano mbyogera nti woteri zino ez'okumakubo zonna zino z'olaba. Zonna zijjuddeko abakazi abatunda emmere abalina abaana abagitambuza kubanga omukazi afa n'omwana we. Banange abaana abo bali b'ebisiyaga mubalekere bamaama baabwe. Mubalekere bamaama baabwe. Kimba mukola. Lwaki? Kubanga maama ekyo ebbi kyagambye kituufu. Ye maama omwana we yeye. mpaka kufa. Not all mothers but majority mothers. Ekyo bikyayogedde kituufu nnyo. Emotionalism trumps logic and sense. Awo wonna abakyala abatuufu tosobola bawakanya. Era ebyo oli mutuufu sikuwakanya. Nze nkubuulira ne bw'oyagala kubawa n'akalulu ku basajja abali wano gwe bakubuulire oba omusajja agenda kufa n'omwana ng'abakazi bafa naye nedda. Abo bakazi bonna abatunda wooteri z'oku makubo mutonninnyira bonna balwana n'abaana abalina bakitaabwe abalamu. So if we are discussing ani alina emotion nnene nnyo ku mwana ku taata ne maama ne bw'okubawa n'akalulu n'obuuza nti abalina bazadde bammwe ababiri taata ne maama osinga kwagalani nange kamwa koogera nze akugambye nange ngenda ku sayidi ya maama kubanga ekyo tukyagala. Naye tuli mu kubuuza omwana alina emyaka 18 ekintu kyalimu tokikkiriza. Omwana wo bw'oba omwagala do not even be disappointed in what he has become. Tobeera tobaako na byotereza, mwagale n'ebintu bye byonna. Kakati ate ffe kaneeyogerere kati ate nze omwana wange okuva ku mwaka gumu mpaka 15 do's and don'ts ze zigira. Okuva ku 16 tukkaanya bukkaanya bw'asalawo ne orientation n'agenda bugenzi tabeera wange kubanga sijja nja mukaluubiriza. Maama we agaanye omwana agende ne nnyina baganye bombi okugenda nzidi omu ku basajja abanoba neyanze moderator.
Ffe abasajja ekintu ekimu kye tumanyi nti omwana bw'akulaga nti yalemererwa okuyiga from you then tumulekera ku nsi nemuyigiriza. Era nga bw'olaba oli story ya prodigal son, taata yamutta n'agenda ensi nemuyigiriza n'adduka n'akomawo. Naye buli bw'osigala ku mwana mbw'omulaga okwagala bwongera okumuziika bw'ayongera okubeera comforted bw'alowooza nti you support what is doing omutse.
Nange moderate
naye tubadde tulina okwagala okukyo.
Bob network yobigira otuleka.
Bob network yombi unfortunately. Peter.
Yes.
Peter obadde ogamba?
Yes. Ate neyanza nnyo mpulidde mamange Biru ng'ayogera ku nsonga ey'okufa n'omwana we. Era nagamba I think twogera ne musumba Isaya wano ne musumba Nicholas wano. Nenkola statement neŋŋamba nti nze nkizuulidde ddala nti tetuzaala mu bakyala, abakyala be batuzaalamu. Ekyo nkikakasiriza ddala. Number 2, nenkola statement endala nti bannange nze omwana wange ku level to the extent maama we wamumpeeredde. This child is my child only to the limits and to the elasticity of the mother, the mother's responsibility ng'amumpa. Kugamba nze maama w'omwana tamumpa lunaku lwa muzadde nti omwana wuno gwe tuzadde mwana wo. Amumpa buli lunaku. Era buli bwe nkizuula nti tamumpadde oyo omwana wuwe. Otegedde? N'otuuka ewaka nali mbagamba ano omwana ali ku ssimu ya nnyina ali mu katuuni nojja n'ebintu omwana n'atakulisaayo nolyoka ogamba omwana jangu ombuuze omwana n'akuba obubegaabega n'omuggyako essimu nnyina n'alyoka agamba omwana mulekere essimu omwana omusanze mu mirembe ye. Kakati owulidde kakati bamaama nze nkiddamu bamaama batonda taata mu mwana buli lunaku kubanga oba twagala oba tetwagala abasajja abasinga obungi tetubaawo otegedde naye kakati maama yatonda kitaawe w'omwana mu bulamu bw'omwana ogenda okukizuula ng'omwana oweekubako mwekube omwana weekubako mwekube omwana oli ye yamuzaala ye omwana ye yamusindika yamukola buli kimu yasalawo byakola omwana byakola ne byatakola owulidde kakati omwana olunaagira nga ddiini etta akuleetera gundi bulenda owulidde naye ng'omwana baali bamukuggyako dda kati gwe omwana omulabira awo ng'akuleetedde bulenda oba divine aleese gahutu divine ng'aba aleese muntu muzibu nnyo
Peter olinga agamba nti abakyala be bavunaanyizibwa ku mwana oba anaafuuka omusiyazi oba taafuuke musiyazi ekyo sirukusikiriziganya nakyo mwami Serubiri
anti
abakyala bayinza okubeera okumwagala okwo takumutamuono abazadde abakyala be bazadde nze ntera obaga nti ekigambo omuzadde
exactly
nakyo olinga agamba nti ate okubaagala ennyo abaana ate babwonoona ekyo kyogamba
oba kyeŋŋamba ndowooza kyeŋŋamba kubanga mu buufu buno mu context nti kyembadde mbagezaako okutegeeza olukiiko luno this call nti ngenze nkizuula nti nze okubaako kyenkola ku mwana okujja nga maama we takikkiriza omwana takifuna empisa zange ennungi amagezi gange okutendeka kwange okukuza kwange kwonna kuli at the mercy of maama wa mwana ye statement jeni mukwogera
kitakyeyogera kituufu
kambaweko story eno lumu twali tulya lunch ne Peter nga tuli kunyumya ku mboozi zaffe zino nebeerayo omusajja yatwegattako n'atugamba nti abaana be bennyini bazaala abasatu abamala kuseekinga permission from the mother if they are to do anything with him. In fact yatugamba nti bribings to spend some time with him kubanga ye alikolera Kampala omukyala ali Mbarara. Peter kyagezaako ogamba era nze kyenzikiriza nakyo nti abakyala mu ngeri gye baagala nnyo to own the children and to make the children know nti babaagala nnyo babalidinga mu makubo amabi amangi ennyo agamu ku go geg'ebisiyaga ane knowingire tebaba bali kikola nti knowingire nedda baba bakikola ane knowingire kati mu maaso eyo omwana bw'ayonooneka ng'olwo bamukuddiza ng'amaze okwonooneka nga you the father you have no say.
Kugamba yes kyembadde nga musoma nti kugamba kyamukisa nnyo omusumba omuzadde taata nga gwe mpulidde musumba Isaaya kyamukisa nnyo senga ku myaka awo 3 maama anoba oba afa
naye bano basajja bannaabwe
otegedde kugamba maama okujjako nga maama akugabira omwana ono buli lunaku kugamba akukkiriza okukola obuwanika ku mwana ono buli lunaku otherwise
I beg to disagree.
Hello?
What you've said is a very, I don't know, but it's a very bogus statement. So you want to say that women cannot grow children?
Yeah, that is what I'm also saying. There are very many responsible women there.
That is not what Peter is saying.
Gentlemen.
That isn't what I have understood from Peter. What I have understood from Peter. Hello?
Yes, Gana Masu Seven.
Kino njagala mwenna abali ku forum eno oba oli musajja oba oli mukazi njagala okuba ekifaananyi singa maamawo yakukuza yekka nga tolina father figure mu bulamu bwo njagala okuba ekifaananyi Peter kyagezaako kugamba abakyala abakazi owninga nnyo abaana, bali attached emotionally nnyo ku baana. Ffe abasajja tetuli. Era omukazi yayigiriza omwana we okussa ekitiibwa mu taata we. Omukazi bw'olina ekitiibwa mu mwana. Yesero.
Mr. Pio, nze nina scenarios nga bbiri oba ssatu. Esooka bagamba Yesu Kristo was raised by the mother for most of his time. Omulala, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, he was raised by a mother. Omulala, I'm forgetting another third name.
Hello, Peterson.
Hey,
As you remember the other one.
Hey.
Yesu yazaalibwa Mariamu, naye Mariamu yali married to Joseph.
But Joseph, they say that he died when Jesus was very young.
That's what they say. Let
me clarify. Peterson. Hello? Yes, Peterson, let me clarify. Okay? I am not saying that mothers are incapable of nurturing children. That's not my point. My point is that the access that fathers have to discipline and to nurture children is at the mercy of the mothers. That's my point. Don't miss my point here. Siri mukugamba nti abakyala tebakuza abaana. Siri mukugamba nti abakyala tebasobola kukuza abaana. No, ngamba nti ffe abasajja omukisa gw'okukuza abaana, okutendeka abaana, guli mu mikono gya mukyala. If the mother does not will for me to nurture, I want to tell you, they have all the full authority and power.
Mukazi alina okuwa omukisa.
Exactly. Musumba ekyo kyeni mugamba nti gwe taata omukisa gw'okunakyaringa omwana gutudde nnyo mu maama. Maama afuga nnyo. Mama is in charge of your opportunities to nurture, to discipline, to mold this child. Kyeni mugamba naddala ekika kya ebika bya maama ebisinga obungi. Kati mukulu wange Enoch, ensonga eyo gyeni mugamba siri mu kunafuya bamaama, kubanga ani wano ayinza n'okumanyiira maama. Ffenna wano naffe mukimanyi, ani ddala ayinza alina nakyagamba ku maama ku nsonga z'okutulabirira. Okay? But my point here is, musumba wange Isaya kyabadde agezaako kyagambye nti nze mpulidde taata omulungi mu Isaya, naye taata oyo omulungi okwakisesinga divine nga maama taliiwo nnyo oba nga maama ali ku sseeritegeera either okukira omusumba Isaya oba okwenkana. Otherwise ebiseera ebisinga ne bw'oba oyagala okuteeka ekkubo lino oteeke ekkubo liri, oteeke ekkubo liri, maama bw'aba si bw'alonze, ssebo tuweerera abaana fees, maama yaziwaayo. Nzirayo eka ne yogati, maama omwana yamumuwa, omwana alaba nnyina. Omwana alaba nnyina, talaba kitaawe abikola. Kwegamba akagologoosi ke kali mu kuzina, si wuzi ezitalabika ezizinsa akagologoosi mu maaso g'abaana. I would like to submit.
Kale, we've run out of time. Beatrice awulira Oluganda, by the way. Muyinza okuba mulese behind. Naye kale, that's all we had time for today. This discussion cannot end here, of course. I'm sure we'll bring it back at some point in the future. I want to thank you all for joining in. Same link on Thursday. Thursday, we normally go into the politics, economics, and other social issues. Monday is reserved for the theological side of things. Yeah, so thank you for joining. I'll see you on Thursday. Same link, same place, same time. Bye-bye.